Oh my God, Cam, you hear about this this OnlyFans ban?
OnlyFan ban.
You hear about this?
See this? Did you hear about this? I
about this?
did.
You
They
hear about
want to. They want to ban all sexually explicit material, Cam, which for you is a major shame. I've heard that you've actually maybe been able to make some like real financial decisions based on your income from OnlyFans.
Certainly, because now what we're doing is taking applications for OnlyCams, the only platform that's allowing whatever you want. Send it our way.
OnlyCams. We've been pitching this for months now. Early on in the podcast, we brought up OnlyCams, and I think now with the ban of sexually explicit material, us over here at OnlyCams, we're like, hey, bring it on. Exclusively sexually explicit material.
That's all we want.
Yeah,
we don't want Floyd Mayweather on there doing, I don't even know what he does. Why are athletes doing OnlyCams?
Unless Floyd Mayweather wants to hang his dong out for a photo, he's not allowed on OnlyCams.
R. Kelly tried that and see where that landed him.
No, but he did it. He instead of doing it on OnlyFans, he did it in person in front of a minor. Very different. Very different.
People don't like that anymore. Different times.
Different times.
Kick it.
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your
Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's because we're 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com. Thanks, Cam. Welcome back to the podcast here, folks. You are listening to 2 C's in a Pod. Podcast hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne. It's also hosted by Cam LeClaire. He's sitting right over there.
That's me.
And this is episode 84 of the show.
84, Grabowski's number.
Yep. As we all know, as long-time listeners
Michael
of the show,
Grabowski's
every single
number.
episode, Cam opens up with his favorite athlete to wear
that I can remember.
number.
Or that I Google at the moment. We'll see.
And this happens every single episode. If you were to go back, you would hear 84 of these. 84
It goes Ken Dryden. Then the guy who wore number 2, and then Danny McGillis, then Bobby Orr, then Chris Chelios.
As you can tell, they're mostly hockey players. No, I think Chris Chelios wore 44 at one point. Yeah, and it's podcast. We're here. It's a beautiful Monday. The weather is cooling down. I'm wearing a sweater, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
Yeah, sweaters are nice.
I might wear pants to work later today. Call me crazy.
Didn't they say the heat warning's still in town, though?
It sure doesn't feel like it.
That, I haven't heard. Okay, you watch a lot of basketball. Does the Heat, like the Miami Heat, do they play on that a lot?
Yeah, I think they do, but insofar that I can recall, for playoff games when they'll give out like a free shirt. They'll leave a shirt on the back of the seats, right? So everybody can be wearing the same shirt, so it looks a little more uniform. That's their white hot shirt, so everyone's wearing white. I know they definitely.
I thought heat warning sounds fun though. It's like
I'm sure they do if they're in like like those things that are during the commercial break when they want the crowd to start cheering. I'm sure they do something like that, like, hey everybody, time for a heat warning. I'm just like,
I would think like local radio guys from out of town, like. The Milwaukee Bucks gotta keep their ears to the ground here because we got a heat warning coming in. Yes, LeBron James. Is he playing for the Miami Heat?
Used to.
So this is a call from back then. Coming into town
from the early 2010s.
Today is early 2010s,
and we're calling a game here.
Yeah, I'm Rich Limbaugh.
Wait. What'd you say his name was?
Rich Limbaugh.
Okay, perfect.
What's his real name?
I think it's Rush.
I'm Rush Limbaugh's less successful brother out of the Milwaukee region with 200 listeners on average per month. Rich Limbaugh.
Right. Yeah, it's been a great week here. As summer is coming to a close. We are balls deep here in the month of August.
Speaking of balls, Cam, holy shit, do I have a story for you.
It better involve testicles, Cam.
You know it does.
Well, yeah. Why don't you kick off the show with a story? Now, coming off the heels of last week's episode, many listeners of the show got to hear the remnants, the befores, the afters. Last week's episode was really, really long, by the way, because it was sort of interrupted with an old man
who stole a bike
and who stole Cam's bicycle from his face. So Cam, listeners of the show, let's not tarry no further. We got to hear follow up on this.
All right. So I talked to you. I talked to Shannon. Everyone that I talked to was like, "Sir, you just had your bike stolen." Everyone says it. Like, everyone I'm talking to, because there's no context, right? When I tell an old man comes to the door is like, "I want your bike. I'll see you in September." It sounds like I got my bike stolen. I can't sleep at night thinking about it. Like, I am just so concerned about it. So I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I'm going to call him at 10 o'clock at his phone number. And I call him and he's like, "You want your bike back, don't you?" And I'm like, I think there was like misunderstanding. And he's like, "Don't worry about it, man. I thought you were giving me like a piece of shit bike. This one's like an absolute beauty. I can't take this from you." Like, so he's like, "Just come pick it up." He was like, "I just don't want to be a burden on you because I'm like more than." He's like, "I just don't want to take rides. I want to be independent. Like, that's my goal, and it's very difficult for me to be independent right now." So me and Shannon walk over to him, and she now finally gets to meet him. So now there's actually an interaction other than myself telling. And she's like, "Oh, he's just the sweetest old man. He's living on like a pension that's not much, and he's just telling me, he's like, I don't have any way to get around right now." And he's telling me all about his financial situation. He's like, "I'm thinking about buying a car. I don't know how to use Kijiji. If you know how to use Kijiji, like, let me know." And by the end of it, I'm like, "Listen, my dad has an old bicycle at the up north at the cabin that no one uses. I'll just bring that back for you because I don't even care if that gets stolen. Like, if we just throw a shit lock on there," he's like, "that would just mean the world to me." So I'm gonna pick him up on next Thursday, get him to his medical appointment. And yeah, it was a successful story. And then I walk into his house and he's got a fly fishing rod, and I'm like, "Do you fish?" He's like, "Yeah, I catch brown trout in the Grand River." I'm like, "Can you teach me how to do that?" He's like, "I'd love to teach you how to do that." So now I got a new grandpa.
So now you have a positive relationship with an old man?
Yeah.
Wow. This story really took a turn from this man taking advantage of you to
just a misunderstanding.
Just a misunderstanding. Right? So I guess he had thought that
he thought I was giving him he was like, "Oh, you have a bike that no one's using?" And that was he thought, and I was like, "No, I have a bike that gets used." Just like I was on a one-off. He was like, "Oh, I thought it was like you were giving me a 3-speed, all rusted out, but still had wheels on it."
Yeah.
So just a misunderstanding, but yeah, we're cool now.
You're cool now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank God, Cam, because you were fretting about this.
I was pretty worried.
You were pretty worried.
Yeah, I mean, as you should be, I think. Because it was it's a nice bike that I have. Literally had new tires on it that I hadn't even gone on yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. You got to do something nice while kind of keeping your things intact. And like we were saying last week, you have no problem driving this guy to where he needs to be.
No problem at all. Because that was his big concern. He's like, "I don't want to rely on other people for shit."
Makes sense.
Yeah, Nobody does. But I'm like, I'd rather help a neighbor out. I'll feel good about it. I work from home, so
it'll make me feel good.
Make me feel good.
Let me do it.
Exactly. Let me post on my Scram. Yeah. So that's the positive news story of the day. We got a negative one though. So you know how last week, actually, I don't want to tell you, I got into a volleyball league.
Okay, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah, that's good. Back in Muay Thai, so activity's way back up.
Yeah.
Injuries obviously back up as well. But last week, and viewer discretion here, if your kids are listening, kick them out of the room. I'm sure most of our listeners have kids.
I'm sure the majority of our audience are children.
Are kids,
actually.
Yeah.
So
getting to some specific language here. I noticed that old slobs of the show know this. I noticed one of my testicles felt very heavy and sore.
What's up, old slobs? Cam's balls. What's up, old slobs?
Not pretty scary though. Pretty scary.
Wait. The one that is already bigger.
Yeah, correct.
Felt like it was bigger.
Swollen.
Okay.
So I tell Shannon, I pretty much say, can you just look at this to see if this looks swollen too? She's like, yes.
She says, God, no, it's disgusting.
She says, God, put it away. Why am I with you? Leave this house. And she's like, you need to like get in touch with the doctor ASAP. Like, it's just something you don't want to fuck around with, right? And I'm getting pain throughout that area. So I get on the phone with the doctor, and they're like, hey, you need to get an ultrasound ASAP on it, make sure everything's legit, like everything's fine, and don't really do anything for the next few days, because like just relax. I hate when a doctor tells me to relax. I can't. They're like, Cam, just sit around. Like, don't do anything. Fuck that. I can't. I want to do something. Like, it's the prime. It's getting cool outside. Let me go hit golf balls. Let me go play volleyball. Let me go to Muay Thai. Everything's opening back up, and they're saying settle the fuck down. So I have to go on the Thursday morning to go get an ultrasound, but I forget to get my piece of paper, the requisition form, and they tell me, like, if you go to the hospital without your requisition form, you're getting kicked right out. So I bomb over this place that's like opens at 8 a.m. to get like a piece of paper because I threw out my printer because who the fuck prints things ever anymore? Like twice a year.
I mean, it is good. I mean, at that rate though, is it really taking up that much space?
I found it is. Yeah, okay. I found it, like on shelves and shit. I just gave it to someone. Anyway, so yeah, I printed it off, and she was super nice because there was a $5 minimum, but I think she probably read the requisition form, which said right testicular swelling, and just went, don't worry about this one. You have a good day.
Fantastic.
And gave it to me for free, yeah. So I was like, all right, we're off to a good start.
Nobody with a swollen nut is having a good day.
No, it was not a good day.
No.
So I have like meetings during the day that I need to have with work and shit. One's with like my CEO. And then I'm going to the ultrasound, get that done. It's always young women doing ultrasounds on your nuts. Every time I've done it. Don't know why.
Because you've gotten ultrasound on your nuts a lot of times now.
More than once.
More than the average man, I think.
Yeah.
Let us know, twoceesinapod@gmail.com. How many times have you gotten an ultrasound on your testes? More than Cam? Probably not.
So she's asking me a bunch of questions, pressing things around. Not really comfortable. Not a great scenario, but they were super on time. St. Mary's Hospital, thank you for being accurate to your word. 8:30 appointment, and on the table at 8:30. So I get out. They're like... Pants down. Yeah.
They put you in the little, like the assless kind of robe thing that ties up?
That's later.
Okay.
So they just said, like, take your shorts down. Here's a towel. Cover up your junk, but let's see everything below that. More technical language.
So cover up the shaft.
Cover up the shaft. They said the base of the penis, please put it under this towel. I said, okay.
Great. Did they have a towel with, like, a hole cut in it so you could, like, only the balls would pop out?
Just a regular towel.
Okay.
I did appreciate, though, because this, like, the last time I did it, they had cold gel for the ultrasound. Not comfortable. This time they had warm gel, which was a lot nicer.
Okay.
Just not as like, Anyway, so this goes on, and I tell them, I'm seeing my doctor in 2 hours about this. When are they going to get the results? She goes, I'm going to stat this because this sounds like, obviously an ultrasound person can't give you results, but she's like, I'm going to try and get this statted ASAP. So then I go to my doctor's office, meet with her, family doctor. She's pregnant. So she said, look how big I am.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. And now she's not a family doctor anymore. She's like, I'm going to, like most typical doctor story ever. She's like, look how big I am, pregnant. And I'm like, oh, is that why you're stopping your family practice? She's like, yes, I'm doing this. And then I'm going to have a second baby right after that. And then I'm going to come back to work. I'm like, wow, that's such an efficient doctor life. Like, I will have 2 babies and then I will work again. Like, fun. So anyway, she pulls down my pants. She's like, let's see what's going on. And she was like, oh my God, has it always been this big? This is my family doctor who says this.
This is the woman who's seen your balls for years.
Yeah. And is like she brings in an assistant, brings in an assistant. She says it's an assistant. I think it's for viewing pleasure. Right?
You think it was a friend because you saw her. For some reason, your doctor was frantically texting what appeared to be a group chat, and then this other person came in.
So she starts like poking and prodding, and then I'm kind of telling her where the pain is, and she's like poking in one spot. She's like, "Did that hurt?" I'm like, "That fucking hurts so bad," and she's like. She takes off her gloves. She's like, "Yeah, bud, you're going to ER." I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "You have a hernia, and it's sticking out, and I can't get it back in." So a hernia, for those who don't know, is a break in your abdomen wall where your intestines are sticking out. So off to ER, and I'm like, "What's gonna happen there?" She's like, "A few things." So
what? You're gonna lose your balls and cock.
She tells me, she's like, "I was pretty gentle with you. The ER doctor's not going to be gentle with you. Like, they're really going to try to ram your intestines back in, or you're going to go into general surgery today." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" Like, this terrible day. So I have to cancel all my work appointments for the day.
Now, what did you say when you had to cancel your work appointments? You say, "Sorry, guys." My balls need to go to the ER.
No, I tried to make it like
that's too bad. You should have
somewhat. I didn't want to make it like sound too urgent, but I was like, "Hey, I have to go to the ER for the day. I will be okay. Just like cancel my meetings." And everyone's like, "Okay, like please keep us updated." Because like when you say that, it's like they don't know if I'm in a car crash or if like I broke my arm. Right?
Yeah, or everything in between, or you're going with somebody who. Yeah.
Either way, not really into their business, but I just wanted to let them know, like, today's not the day for meetings. So I get in there, go through all the shebang, see the doctor, and then at the moment, like, get so lucky. He's like, "Okay, we're going to get you an ultrasound right now." I'm like, no, I got one at St. Mary's this morning. He's like, "Check." She's like, "Oh, shit, there it is." Like, what are the chances? Like, it came in at that moment. So he looks around. He's like, "You have 110 milliliters of fluid in one of your testicles." So, like, think about how much liquid that is.
About that much? About an inch worth?
Well, it depends if you have a cup or not. Like, depends how deep the cup is, but it's quite a bit. So he's like, there's that, and then there's also a hernia above it, and that you have 2 centimeters of intestine sticking out of your. And then it's a 12-centimeter break in your abdomen. Wow, that's big. So he's like, "We can't put it back in right now. It just doesn't want to go. Like, there's something holding it back." So
was it gas? Was it gas holding
it back? I
don't
know. I think they're like your rock hard abs are just too tough. We can't actually like get anything back.
So wait, have you had a hernia this whole time?
Small one, but I guess it broke. That's why. So like I've had a small gap, but nothing's ever come out of it. Now it's like I've done something to like pop it out.
Wait. But your ball has been big for years.
So that's just part of the swelling process. Like
okay.
So the hernia is above, and then below is just like swelling.
Okay,
that's happening.
But so you've had a but that means that you've had a hernia for at least 6 years now.
But that they're kind of related, like, but partially unrelated.
Okay.
They're related but unrelated. Like I could have both, or I could have either. Right. Anyway, so that all goes on, and then they're like, "Hey, you wait here. We're gonna talk to the general surgeon to see like what we do next, if we're doing this today or if we're gonna wait."
Now, the general surgeon, of course, that little animated guy in the daytime, he saves you money on your car insurance. And then later on in the afternoon, he works on your balls, right? He has like a comical mustache and he wears glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dollar General.
Yeah.
That's the guy. I never meet the guy. So after like 4 hours, someone comes. I just go to like a nurse, and I'm like, I'm not really sure what I'm waiting for anymore. I was told that a general surgeon was going to talk to me. And then she's like, "Oh no, I know you're here." Like, I don't know either. I'm waiting for someone to tell me. I'm like, "Okay, at least you know I'm here." While there, a guy comes in under arrest, like chains on his arms and his feet.
Cool.
Fully tattooed on his face with the worst tattoos, like Ink Master Nightmare.
Nice.
And then
words or like patterns and.
There were some words on there. There was like a diamond on there. There was
teardrop,
cross. You know, just like typical bullshit.
Nice.
Just loaded though, and it was interesting to see someone that was under arrest, like having to get marveled through the hospital, especially because like everyone's looking at you, right? When you have tattoos on your face, plus you're under arrest, and there's 2 police, like obviously I'm gonna stare at you.
Yeah, that's a twofer. That's a twofer.
Yeah. So that was probably the most interesting person I saw. And then the general surgeon told the emergency doctor, he comes over, he's like, hey, you're not getting surgery today. Like, you're going to get a call from their office next week. In the meantime, like, you need to relax. I'm like, okay, what does relax mean? Like, I have 2 tee times tomorrow. Can I play golf? And he's like, not a fucking chance. I'm like, okay, well, I got a 55-kilometer hike next week. Like, can I do that? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, Muay Thai just started up, so I can do it. He's like, no, you're done. Like, you're cut off. You just need to fucking relax. So I'm now waiting for a call from a surgeon to get hernia surgery, and I can't do anything until then. Like, I can't do any form of exercise. Yeah, so recovery is going to be, once I get it, probably 2 to 4 weeks, and then like it's about 6 weeks until I can like be full back. So I'm pretty bummed. I'm not going to be able to do much for the rest of the summer.
I'm bummed because I think it'll mean that you no longer have this huge nut.
No, that's staying.
Oh, thank God.
That's most of my friends' concerns.
Because it was one of your defining characteristics.
Dude,
I mean,
this is the real conversation with the emergency doctor.
You're a not quite 6 foot tall white guy. You fucking blend in.
Yeah. Here's actual doctor conversation. He goes, like, obviously I pulled down my pants, and he's like, I go, you'll notice that one testicle's a little larger. He goes, yeah, I noticed. And then he's like, do you want to have that removed? I go, do I have to? He goes, do you want to have a giant scrotum? I go, it's not a bad party trick. He goes, okay, I understand.
Yeah, like, I think you keeping the nut is the most important part of this.
It's, yeah, because I asked, like, well, what would I need you to do? He's like, you just go to a urologist. It's called a it's something. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, like, it's just a fluid sac inside of it. And he's like, you just go to a urologist. They basically make an incision, drain it. You're good. And I asked the doctor for my ultrasound, I'm like, did it get bigger, or is it just like swelling? And it turns out that last time I checked, I had 110 milliliters, and this time it was like 111, or it was like one or the other. So it was like it hasn't actually grown. It's just the swelling from the hernia, but pretty painful still. Everything doesn't feel great. Can't really lay down well. Yeah, so it's a little bit somber right now.
A hernia. Wow, Cam, you're getting old. See, Cam, I think there's some things that happen in your life that you realize you can't do anymore. And, maybe there's a lot of parts of your life now that, well, God, Cam, I'm glad that we're able to figure this out. I'm glad we got to the bottom of it. And I'm glad you get to keep the nut, I guess.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Which is honestly the most important part.
Pretty crazy. I'm pretty bummed that I can't do anything. Like, that's my biggest thing. Everyone's like, are you worried about surgery? You know, 1 in 200 people die under anesthetics. I'm like, I'm
Really?
worried that I can't. Yeah,
That feels like a lot.
I know.
That feels like a lot.
That's like a 0.5% chance.
Like, I think I saw yesterday out of the whole like city of Toronto, it was like 1 in 35,000 people have had COVID. But 1 in 200 people, like, that's those numbers. We were trying to do
look that up.
Those numbers are a little bit off, or no? But yeah, if they are, they're on there. Well, Cam, I'm glad that you were able to get this sorted. I'm glad that you're, the pain won't be on your horizon for too much longer. And you get a cool story out of it. One thing that I'm looking forward for you, Cam, is that I've never had my balls professionally shaven.
I don't think they will.
Damn it.
I think it'll just be because like the problem is not.
I guess it's kind of like between your belly button and your junk.
Yeah, exactly. So it's to the right of that, and
well,
like if you were to see it right now, like it is swollen and there's a lump there.
Wherever the lump is, though, you will get shaven there. So if there is kind of a little bit excess hair, maybe the hospital in cahoots with Manscaped.
So keep an eye out for me if I go on. I don't think they'll give me Percocets, but yeah, let's see if
They definitely won't give you Percocets. You might get some T3s, and then they'll send you home.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
fucking
It's
Canada.
day
What do you-
surgery.
what do you
Yeah.
think we are?
Yeah, we don't have an opioid crisis here. We're not in Afghanistan. What did I tie those two things together? Who knows? So yeah, that's my. That was my week.
Wow.
Something else. That's why I told you, Cam. I got nothing to do today. I like it's so I'm so pissed off about it. I just can't. I had so many things I want to do. I don't even know what they were. Go for a 4-hour bike ride. Go play golf.
Well, Cam, I think one thing that you have to, one of the positive notes that you do have to find there is that you do not work a physically intensive job.
I was thinking about this.
If I was in your
Yeah.
position, I would not be able to work for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's think about the positives.
Let's look at
that
the positives.
You get to sit on your ass and answer phone calls and get paid for it while, kind of going through this recovery and all those sorts of things.
That's a good point.
You have a partner who can walk the dog and cut the lawn if need be. You have the support system.
Yeah. So we're good there. So yeah, if anyone wants to, any of the listeners want to come visit me, be appreciated.
Wow.
Anyway, I got a new game for us.
New game.
Let's
bring it up, baby.
All right. I haven't thought of a name for this one yet. I'm thinking like something to like know that song, know that lyric, something like that. Because this game all revolves around. We all know the songs, we all love them. But when I ask you, Cam, do you know them? I think we might get a little bit of a different answer. Cam, I'm going to give you a lyric. I'm going to give you the verse of it. And then at one line, I'm going to give you 3 options for what is the real lyric. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start off.
I think this was a game show hosted by
I think it
Wayne
was.
Brady.
I think it was as well. I was thinking about this.
Okay.
So the first one is the song 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies. And I know you know this verse, Cam, so let's see how well you know it.
I don't know.
Okay?
There's some listeners of the show who know this song much better than I do, and if I falter, I will hear about it. But I can't wait.
So, let me pause it there, because I need to hear it too, because the lyrics are so weird to it. Chicken, the Chinese chicken, have your drumsticks and their brain stops ticking. Watch the next, you can sing it with me, Cam, because we're not there yet. Watch the next files when the lights on. We're done La Maison. I hope the smoking man's in this one. Keep going. You know where I'm going with this, right?
I need to wait.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We're done La Maison. I hope it's making this one. Like Harrison, I'm getting frantic. I'm like Sting. I'm getting tantric. Like Snickers, guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosaka, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I swear they'd be samurai. Next line.
You're reading the lyrics and you're not even getting it right.
Oh, I know. Like Skywalker got a big hunch. Hey, that's my lunch. Yoda's got a really old guy. Gotta get. Oh, here we go. Next line. Because this is a little bit deeper in there, Cam. Next line. Gotta get a better set of friends. Gotta get a better set of clubs, or gotta get a better set of buds.
Okay, so we need to rewind.
We need to back it up. Yeah. So, hey, that's my lunch. Yoda's a really, really old guy. I'm gonna get a set of better friends, set of better clubs, or get a set of better buds. So, like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make mad films, but if I swear they'd be samurai.
Still
like
wrong.
Skywalker got a big hunch. Hey, that's my lunch. Yoda's got a really old guy. Gotta get a set of better what? Buds, clubs, or friends?
I'm gonna say clubs.
Clubs! Correct answer. Lyrics are, gotta get a set of better clubs, gonna find the tiny nubs, just so my arms are always flying off the backswing.
Yeah,
That one's tough. That I didn't do that one well
is
because
tough. That one is tough.
because it's so
like Kurosawa,
so
mad
much
films.
stuff.
Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai.
That's it. Yeah. All right, cameras. Moving on to the next one. We got 3 today. This one everybody knows. This one, I think, mid 2000s, something like that. It's everybody's favorite 2000s rapper, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. We all know the song "Get Low," a fan favorite at the Turret.
Big,
All right.
big shout out.
Ready for this? So,
Yeah,
verse 2. Shoddy crunk, so fresh, so clean. Can she fuck that? The question been harassing me. In the mind, this bitch is fine. I done came to the club about 11 times. Now, can I play with yo dandelion?
Nope.
Can I play cause that ass is fine?
Nope.
Can I play with yo pantaline?
Can I play with your panty line? Security guard
Boom.
say I need to calm down.
Nope. Security guard gonna sweat me now.
Sweat me now. Fuck.
Well, you nailed that one.
It was
buddy.
panty line though. I got that one.
Okay. Wow. We're you're 2 for 2 already. Pretty impressive. Now, I always thought it was dandelion, personally.
Yeah, so there's a huge edit difference between the club version and then the version that was the title song for Need for Speed Underground, the video game.
Which is a great game.
So there's a lot of like the lyric that were changed so it could be, like a PG friendly game or whatever. So maybe they did change it to Dandelion in the game version.
Maybe that's why I know it. All right, Cam. Our third song is a song by Rough Trade. I feel like you might know this one. You might not. High School Confidential. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah.
It's like a high school confidential. You know that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is the verse. What's the principal doing with her? Who's that guy? Is he screwing with her? What's her perfume? Tigress by Faberge. Last line. In my dreams, she makes me scream when she comes my way. B, she makes me cream my jeans when she comes my way. C, through the steam, I make her scream as she comes my way.
Yeah, this is a total guess. And just because it's so much more outlandish than the other ones, I gotta say cream my jeans.
That is the answer.
Yeah.
3 for 3. The lyric is, it makes me cream my jeans when she comes my way. This is played all over the radio. Keep an eye out for the third verse of this song.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of those it's really funny. There's a lot of those classic rock songs or songs that you would find on Q107 that are not edited, and they came out before editing existed. So, like, retroactively, they are not edited, right? Like, she told me to come, but I was already there.
What one's that from?
Yes, You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC, which 97% of their lyrics are just about coming and boners.
Nice.
And rock and roll. But yeah. It's like, so back in whatever, 1981 when the album came out, nobody was like, yeah, we don't need to make a radio edit. This is just the song.
Also, what's the one? Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Like, that's on Q107.
Yeah, they'll say, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
they'll do
probably
that.
a bunch more.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch more. Well, that was a lot of fun, Cam. Do you know? Which is maybe the name of the segment.
I mean, we can work on it. Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, you crushed it. I thought I'd definitely have you with the dandelion pantaline.
No, I know that one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that one.
And then the chicken, the Chinese chicken.
Chicken of China, the Chinese.
Because I know you knew the beginning part of that. I didn't know if you knew the end part of that.
Also, the Weird Al version of that song too is also another good one, which leads us into our notes for the week.
Oh my God.
Notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. Notes. We got some notes.
Wow. Okay, we're playing it backwards today.
Well, you kicked off with a story, and then you went straight to "Do you
yeah,
know?" And then I was
apologies.
like,
Yeah,
"Hey, man, I'm not going to interrupt Cam and have
Fair enough.
listeners, I listen to our verbal spats." But of course, just like the Bare Naked Ladies had 1 week, Weird Al had his own version off of the off parodying the show Jerry Springer. as we all know. It's been 1 week since we got to see cheating lovers and cousins that married. 5 days since they had the show, but the hermaphrodite, the slut, and the crack hoe. Cam, last week we were asking ourselves the question, the legitimacy to Jerry Springer, where I came out and said that, like, it's 1,000% fake. There's absolutely no realness to it, where, in fact, it appears as though it's almost like 50-50. Found a few reports by people who did the in-depth reporting that, or rather, no, we had our interns do the in-depth reporting, reach out to former contestants, former people from the Jerry Springer show, where it turns out that candidates actually call in their stories, and if it's interesting, aka raunchy, enough, the show will most likely be interested in booking you. You would call your story and say, I'm sleeping with my blank. Right? And then, okay, let's get everybody's number involved. Apparently it's quite easy to call in, make up an outlandish story, and have them approve it, even if it is just
so
for
is the fake part there just like...
So it's...
I call in with a bogus story, and I kind of, like, work from there?
So it's real in the sense that they don't find these people reach out to them, but not so real insofar that...
They verify stories.
You know, so, a couple of reports online would say about people being reached out to. You know, like, you get a phone call one day and it's like, hey, this is a producer over at Jerry Springer. Do you know this person? And they'll go like, yeah. It's like, oh, okay, do you want to come on the Springer show? Here's how much you get. And then you can choose yes or no. But it appears as though it's hard to say whether or not how many of the stories are actually real or not, but some people would guess that maybe about 50% of it is real. Producers seek out, the drama, and these candidates, to add fuel to the fire. They encourage guests to get into physical altercations, knowing that there's security guards there, so no one will be, actually hurt. And that's... it's so sort of take it with a grain of salt. But when it comes to the issue of Maury, which is very important because we did wonder ourselves, is there a difference between these two kind of shows? Maury, the actors or the people on the stage do not get paid. However, they do get the Maury show will pay for their trip there, a hotel, a bit of a per diem, for food and expenses. But then the service that they get is one that they need or want anyways. They're looking for paternity tests. They're looking for lie detector tests. These sorts of things where it's like that's what your payment is the paternity test there. And Maury is pretty adamant on that. He's done many AMAs up there on Reddit where he's vehemently telling us that his show is in fact real.
Okay, good to know. I mean, who isn't going to say that to boost the ratings, though, on Reddit? You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe. I like to picture a man who's given his life to paternity tests and lie detectors, to the truth. God damn it! His entire show is based around the truth. I believe him.
You want the top 5 most outrageous Jerry Springer plots?
Here's a top 5. Here are 5 tips about things. 5 ways to... No, it's just a top 5.
Real quick 5.
Wow. Give it to
Man
us.
marries a horse. The Kung Fu Hillbilly. A sex worker loses her teeth. Mother-daughter domination. And breaking the sex record.
So is this just the top, like, the little, like, banner headlines at the bottom of the Jerry Springer episode?
This is just the Jerry Springer show turns 25, the top 10 most outrageous moments. I like Man Marries a Horse personally. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should do a deep dive. Maybe this should be our next show, Cam.
Wait. Instead of watching like a weekly episodic show, no, we just watch 25 years worth of Jerry Springer.
Naked Peekaboo is on there. Chopped off his own manhood. I cut my own legs off. You slept with my stripper sister.
My stripper's sister.
Wait, you slept with my stripper sister, so I think
my
sister
stripper is sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was your stripper, and then they slept with that person's sister. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I would also be curious about. I'm happy I cut my own legs off. That seems like a good bit.
Yeah, seriously. Jesus Christ. Cam.
Okay. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from that? Oh no, Cam. I mean, God, I could sit here all day and talk to you if that's what you really want.
No, I got nothing to do.
Exactly. You've got nothing to do. So let's move on to the show. Let's move on the show then, shall we? Because we have. Now we're 2 weeks into it. Knight Rider is in the rear view mirror. And it's time that we move on to our next show. You know we're watching MacGyver, so I think it's time for another
MacGyver 5.
MacGyver and Fiverr. MacGyver in 5. It's time for MacGyver in Fiverr. MacGyver in Fiverr. It's time for MacGyver in Fiverr. Because we only have 5 minutes to recap this week's episode of MacGyver.
All right, I'm cracking us off this week. The Golden Triangle is the episode. Cam, did you get any of the broadcast dates? I know you like to do that.
It was the fall of 1985.
Oh, what a year! What a year! That's
What
the
a
year that
What a
Jerry
year.
Seinfeld, or sorry, I think that might have been the same year as Chopped Off His Own Man had displayed or came out there.
Yeah, you think so? You think so?
Maybe.
Okay.
Possibly. Okay. Let's go. Mac episode 2. MacGyver episode 2. Starting our timers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, just so you know, folks, this one is a little bit longer on the split here, but we're going to make it quick. It opens with MacGyver at the junkyard surveying a shady deal occurring where a few men are exchanging a briefcase. Mac uses a giant magnet, as you see in those scrapyards, to scoop up the briefcase in a gun, and as soon as you know it, the chase is on, because Mac only comes in with a plan to start, not to exit. His plan falls flat on his face as a bad guy punches him in the face, traps him in a car, handcuffs him, and puts him into the car smasher. We didn't get any details on what that thing's called. Max slides into the trunk and uses a crowbar to pry his way out, escaping while the baddies think he's dead. Do they come up later? Who knows? Or is this a cold open? While they are leaving, he ambushes them for a final time and uses the forklift to pick up the car and apprehend the bad guys. This is just the cold open. This is just to get MacGyver going. Holy shit. All right, now we're going to Burma because there's a mission going on there where there is a lost capsule with toxic material that could be extremely dangerous if released. I think possibly a military aircraft crashed down there. In Burma, Mac witnesses some human trafficking going on and rescues a friend named Chen, a child laborer who works in the poppy fields who works under forced labor. Chen brings him to the site of the airplane crash where the canister has disappeared. But he is caught by the military leader there. Not a general, but one of the military leaders. He is then interrogated by the general who comes in, flies in, who runs all these people. The general tells him that him, as well as all the slaves, that he'll be back in 5 days to pick up the harvest from the poppy fields. In the meantime, Mac will suffer and probably die, according to the general. They hang Mac out on a crucifix-style grid in the baking hot sun to wait there. Mac runs into Chen, who secretly gives him a pocket knife to escape. Once the new guard comes, Mac attacks both guards out after he's escaped the crucifix-style jail cell and makes a bolt to the compound. To create a distraction in the compound, Mac opens up the pig hut and lets them all loose, causing confusion as everyone is running around. Mac secures the capsule, which is hiding under a tarp, uses an inflatable boat and a stick flare to create an explosion, creating enough distraction to steal a Jeep, blow it up with another stick flare, and pretty much run everyone else off in the compound, including all the military guys out of town. Then he sees the villagers, thinking he's a hero, but then he learns that the general will still return, and the people think they are all doomed. Go ahead, Cam.
So by now, the residents of the town have now all stolen the guns of all the bad guys, and they have a perfect English conversation with MacGyver. It's weird that all these residents from small town Burma can speak perfect English, but Mac decides to leave them and go home because he also had himself a job to do. While Mac is going to get in a chopper, the little boy with the hat is absolutely bawling his eyes out when Mac leaves, but he pulls the old switcheroo on us again, and he's gonna come back to save the day, because guess what, folks? Finally, a white man can save us from all of our problems. Mac agrees to teach the town how to fight, but not with guns, so he puts them all to work on his plan. Puts them to work almost like slaves? We also get a gas made of fire ash and rice alcohol that will hopefully smoke out the bad guys when the bad guys come back. Mac tries to reason with them, but of course it doesn't work. We drop snakes onto a few of them and we steal their car. We got the old car falling into a hole in the ground trick, but it was actually a fake out from a fake hole. This was our third switcheroo of the episode. We get a fallen tree with a gun attached to it to take out the tires of one of the cars. Mac slaps the little boy on the ass. We get our big smoke bomb finally, which takes out all the rest of the bad guys. Just then a chopper comes down and is spraying us with bullets. This is when Mac finds some cable and a crank attached to a car. He jumps up to the chopper like Captain America and he attaches the cable onto the chopper, and it turns out actually the guy in the chopper is our drug lord, is the main bad guy, and this helicopter is no match for the little, I don't know, maybe 18 gauge cable and the crank combo as Mac cranks the chopper down. Right then, him and our bad guy drug lord fight for a little bit until the drug lord falls onto his own sword, killing himself, keeping Mac's death toll at 0, which I believe that we should kind of keep track of that. He saves the day, all thanks to MacGyver.
Okay, we did it in short time. I thought we did
short time. That was another fantastic episode.
Just so much going on.
There was a lot going on. One thing it's there was actual a heart compelling element of this story to it.
I do like how the women are definitely gonna be like just episode by episode and not continuation.
You like that? It's like a James Bond thing.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, who needs someone hanging on episode?
And I guess I gotta say, out of all these, my favorite little MacGyver-ism was probably the crank at the very end there. The crank with the cable onto the chopper. Just because that was the most outlandish out of all of them. And
I mean, I thought the stick flare to blow up a Jeep.
You like the stick flare? Hey,
well, I don't know. I just thought it was a little much.
We're each gonna have we're each gonna have our own favorites. But then again, folks, remember, MacGyver's death toll is currently sitting at 0. Who knows? Hopefully, he can get to 1 by the end of the season.
I don't know. I think those two guards. I mean, he gently put a punch in their stomachs, and they both seem to just be like, oh, and just fall flat. Like,
yeah, we'll say that.
I love action movies for that. It's just like, wabah, and it's like, oh.
No, we'll say that's a knockout. That's a knockout. We'll say that's a knockout. Yeah, because unless it's like a gun to the head, it's
I mean, I think a gun to the head most of the time still implies that it did not die.
Even if they get popped right in the forehead.
Oh, if they get, I thought you meant just like hit them with the bun.
Oh no, that's a knockout. No. But,
yeah.
No, I think broadly and generally, he's not killing anybody.
Yeah, I think we're pretty safe. Like, even at the beginning of the episode when he rammed the car with those forklifts, I'm like, that seemed a little bit reckless, MacGyver.
They all ducked.
Really hurt somebody. Yeah.
They all ducked. But yeah, another fantastic episode. Stay tuned next week for MacGyver episode 3. Really into it so far, and I can just see that this is going to be a great season.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, Cameras. I think it's probably time for our last game of the evening here. I'm sure we've already gone over time.
There is no time limit, Cam.
Good point. Well, I think we've... What do you want? Okay. Well, I don't know. What is time anymore? I don't even know how I wear this fucking watch.
Yeah, you wear a watch and you got nowhere to be. This is the beginning of the end for you, Cam. I think, with your...
I'm going to put on like 45 pounds.
Wow. If you can put in 45 pounds in 6 weeks, I will color me impressed. I don't think that's possible.
No, I'll probably put on a little bit of weight because I can't do anything.
Yeah. Not even...
But then I'll just
take the dogs for a walk? Are you allowed to take the dogs for a walk?
Yeah, I think I'm allowed to walk. Once the surgery happens for the first week, I'll probably be like
out of it. Yeah,
out of it. But like right now, I can walk around. I'll probably chip some balls in my front yard after. Like I want to clean a little bit the house, then chip some balls in the front yard. Just because I don't know, that's not like a crazy amount of movement chipping. Mm-hmm. And they told me I can't golf, but I think like what they mean by golf is like don't hit a driver.
Yeah, don't go to the range, don't go to the course.
Yeah, but I feel like if I just bring my sand wedge out to the park with like 50 golf balls and I'm trying to hit it in like a hula hoop, I feel like that's fine. You know?
I don't know. I mean, you can either listen to the doctor or don't. Those are the two options.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to fix it anyway, so like, they're going in there.
Yeah, so if anything, if it's a little bit worse, it's like they're going to fix it anyways. It's not like, what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing that could continue to happen?
It's like when I know I'm going to get my car washed. It's like, well, don't go down the dirt road. It's like, why? It's getting washed already.
That's a good point. That is a good point, Cam.
Just a body. We only get one. All right, well, let's keep going to the next thing then, Cam. Headline or asinine, our final game of the evening here, because I'm sure you probably have something to do.
Hey, headline, headline or asinine.
Apparently I do too somehow, but not really important. Cam, I'm going to kick us off here. It is our segment of the show where we go through the wacky world of news to figure out what is real and what is fake and pitch it to each other to see if we can tell the difference. Cam, headline or asinine, Kentucky school district. Students are dressing up and acting like cats.
Oh, God. See, I've been saying this for years. We can't let the furries take over. Because as soon as we start normalizing weird-ass fucking behavior, the young people start doing it. And then the young people are doing this weird-ass fucking behavior. Here's some 5-year-old who is on YouTube, sees a convention full of these, and I'm going to say it, fucking freaks. Dressing up in all sorts of weird furry costumes, fucking sucking each other's weird furry cocks. It is weird. And now that people see it, it's like, well, you can't make fun of them. It's they're living their best life. They're being themselves. They're hashtag authentic. No, it's fucking weird. I am American, goddammit. I reserved the right to say that something is fucking weird if it's fucking weird. And yeah, dressing up like a cat, it's pretty fucking weird. There's one day you're allowed to dress up like a cat. It's in October. It's at the end of the month. October 31st, Halloween, the only day you're allowed to dress up like a cat. Put the, little whiskers on, put a little set of ears on, whatever. That's great. But now to think of an entire school district doing it, what confuses me about this are the boys. Like, boys don't want to dress up like stuff. That's not a thing.
They want to dress up like Brad Pitt.
Or not even that. You put on your Patrick Mahomes jersey. That's what the kids are into these days. You want to be Patty Mahomes. But to think of like a bunch of boys being like, yo, you know what we're going to do today? What? Let's all dress up like cats. That'll be so cool. Cats, objectively, the worst of the domesticated animals. I mean, if you're going to dress up like a goddamn domestic, at least dress up like a dog. At least people like dogs. Headline.
Sadly enough, this is out of Meade County, Kentucky, where they're dealing with this situation. And apparently it's been going on for a while, but gotten a lot worse this year. As you noted, Cam, apparently, this is a quote from a person who remains among us, a grandmother. Apparently, from what I understand, they're called furries. They identify with animals. These people will hiss you or scratch at you if they don't like something you're doing. So yeah, Cam, it's pretty fucked up.
That was right.
They're told they can't wear Budweiser hats in school, but they can wear ear cats, ear tails, mask, leashes. It doesn't make sense, she added. The superintendent, Mark Martin, says a petition isn't needed. He says the costumes violate school dress code. So they are kind of doing something about it, but a bunch of kids are like, I'm not really comfortable going to school right now when there's a fucking cat. Well, I'm not going to call it a cat, a fucking weirdo that is just bugging me and pretending they're a cat.
Yeah, honestly, and that there's a point where it would have to get into it would have to start being a problem like in the educational process, right? The teacher's like, okay, what's 5 times 3? And then somebody puts up and they're like, meow. Everyone putting up their hands like that. There starts to be a problem where it's like, this is now a problem.
Yeah, the kids in the back like, you're telling me I can't vape, but we can have a cat in class.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to vape, but you can be a fucking cat.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's wrong with these kids these days? Right, and TikTok. I feel like every generation says kids these days, but there's what was the equivalent of the older generation when we were 6, 7 to 10 years old? What was the equivalent of?
We were gambling with Beyblades at the time.
Yeah, what was the equivalent of what adults would say, oh, kids these days? Because you and I are almost 30, I'm almost 30, and we're saying kids these days dressing like cats going to school. People who were 30 back then are saying what? Kids these days playing with little cards and Tamagotchis. You know, fucking night and day.
Very much so.
I mean, hell, if you're allowed to dress like a cat, I want one kid to show up in his Weinstein costume. Why not? Why not? Why the fuck not?
I'm an executive on a movie set.
That's the new bit. That's the new bit.
I'm looking for some talented young actresses. Do you want to come into my office? I got some good roles.
Yeah, exactly. Is this a in preparation of Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever? Jesus Christ. Okay, Cam, here we go. Fucking kid. Why does this make me mad? Why does bullshit
you get pretty upset
that
by this.
Kids do in fucking Kentucky make me pissed off? Oh my god, fucking
headline.
That is a headline. It's coming out of me.
This is Rich Limbaugh coming in his piece on Kentucky.
Rich Limbaugh here. That's my Republican alter ego, Rich Limbaugh. Headliner Asinine Cam. Papa John's founder says he's trying to get rid of the N-word from his vocabulary.
So, from what I remember about this guy, he's had quite the last 2 years, and I think right before the pandemic, he had said, "I will get my revenge," and then the pandemic hit. I'm not saying they're related, but goddamn it, they were close. I think he also had something that was like 60 pizzas in 60 days or something like that. Was just like an absurd number of pizzas. I think he is taken separated from the brand because of some racist things that he said. And just by the state of the things that I've heard, this doesn't seem at all out of character. And it's like he's trying to be a better person. I'm going to go ahead and say this is like beyond. This is like, scroll through news and be like, yeah, of course. Headline.
Cam, of course, this is a headline. A few pieces of it stuck out to me, though, at least, because this is a story about John Shanter, who we know as Papa John. Of course, he's the founder and the former CEO of Papa John's, who has been trying to stop using the N-word since his very publicly firing more than 2 years ago. For those who can't remember, back in July of 2018, he was caught on a conference call using the N-word and reflecting on his life growing up in Indiana, where people would, quote, drag African Americans from their trucks until they were dead. Earlier this month, Papa John was on the far-right network OAN. It's like Fox News on crack.
Really? I've never heard of this.
Yeah, OAN.
Is this where Rich Limbaugh broadcasts?
Rich Limbaugh? Yeah, it's like even OAN thinks Fox News is too liberal.
Okay.
And where he went on OAN and blaming the left-wing media for dragging him down and said, quote, that he has spent the last, quote, and I very much so want to emphasize that this is what he said, I've spent the last 20 months trying to get rid of the N-word from my vocabulary and everything else.
It's a long time to be trying that.
Almost 2 years this man has spent trying to stop using arguably the most offensive word, at least not in the top 5. There's your top 5, Cam. And apparently it's a lot more difficult for Papa John than you would have thought.
It normally takes me about a week to get a word out of my vocabulary. Like if I go, I'm not going to use the word basically anymore because I don't like it. I'll catch myself 2 or 3 times and be like, oh, let's correct that. We're going to use essentially or just remove it. 2 years?
And this will happen, let's say you use the word like too much.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. And then you try to get rid of it, and then eventually you can't, and you just say to yourself, you know what, hey, maybe I'm one of those people that just says like, and I use that word. Whatever. But
I'm just curious about the context.
How often are you using the word that it is so difficult to remove from your vocabulary? It's astounding. It was a short interview. He's still canceled. Who the fuck cares?
Here's an idea. Maybe he just has a bunch of metaphors that he's a metaphor guy, but everyone includes the N-word. He's like, when someone's like, well, it looks like you a pig and shit right now. It's like he just replaces every noun with the N-word.
Right. Maybe he read a lot of Huckleberry Finn when he was a young boy, and it's hard to get some of that imagery out of his head. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? It's like, I'm not even going to jump into it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the only real way that he has it is he has so many sayings. And he's like, oh, that one also says, and people are like, did you just say that? He's like, oh, you're right. That also has the N-word in it. I just can't even pick up on it anymore.
Papa John. Never had it, but I heard it's good pizza.
This one's a headline that I saw, but it's like, I think this is...
Is it headline or is it asinine?
This one's a headline, but I thought it was crazy because I just read it this morning. I was going to bring it up before.
Does this count as part of the headline or asinine?
No, because I just saw it on my headline thing, but we can jump into it after. Apparently, this has never happened in MLB expansion history, and it happened last night. A player hit an inside the park home run to pull his team in front in a pitch hitting situation.
That's cool.
I love baseball stats.
I hate baseball.
Well, I just love that I could have paused at any of those points and it would have been a stat, but then I had to keep going, by a player wearing number 8.
Yeah, baseball's the only one where it's like if you kind of had tiers, right, going down, and you have baseball inside the park home run, that's the one tier. Second tier, on a Thursday night. Next tier for a go-ahead run.
Yeah.
Next tier by a pinch hitter.
The weather was above 60 degrees.
Yeah. Inside the park home run, pinch hitter with no errors on the play.
Yeah. So that one's a real headline. Anyway, next headline or asinine cam. Venomous sea snakes. Fuck off, ad blocker. Allow ads. God damn it. All right. Holy shit. I'm just going to go backwards here. I had it and then it popped up here. All right. Venomous oh my God.
Jesus
Venomous
Christ.
sea snakes are trying to have sex with scuba divers.
You need to have fucking surgery on your brain? Two? Do you have a hernia? Do you have a hernia in your fucking skull?
One. That was hilarious.
Okay, venomous sea snakes trying to have sex down by the seashore. No, sea snakes sex with snorkelers, I think would be the better headline. Yeah, well, the ocean is filled with stuff. It's filled with our trash, our trash from human beings. It's filled with salt. It's filled with water. And it's filled with all sorts of creatures that, we don't know about, probably don't interact with humans too often. And that could be exactly that. One thing that always confuses me, what would confuse me about this, is that the human idea of sex and the, I'm sure, sea snake idea of sex are probably two different things. Like the sea snake, unless, does the sea snake have a little penis that he puts into the other sea snake's vagina? Is there foreplay? Is it just about sex? Is it purely physical, or is there something about an emotional commitment that has to happen, right? Is it sex for procreation, or is it just sex for wanting to do it? Because I could certainly see if a sea snake approaches a person and kind of latches onto their arm, it'd be like, oh, they're trying to bang my arm. But they're not, but maybe the sea snake went straight for, someone's butthole. And they're like, oh, no, the sea snake's trying to put his little penis into, his little snake penis into my butthole. In that case, there'd be unmistakably he's trying to have sex. And if that was also the case, what other things are these sea snakes trying to have sex with? Other fish? Is a sea snake trying to wrap itself around a sunfish and try to blow its load into the little sunfish's pussy? I'm not too sure. I'm going to say it's a headline.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave it away when I said, "Goddamn it, the ad blocker."
Goddamn ad blockers,
Yeah.
Cam. Here's what you do: read news stories, write them out on a separate Word document, and then you'll be able to, sort of disseminate information a little bit better. Disseminate.
Yeah.
Hey, sex.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's out of Australia. They found a large venomous snake that is kind of coming up to humans and being a little bit frisky. They're wrapping around the leg. It's known as an olive sea snake. So they did a study on it. And basically, anytime you're in the ocean around that area between May and August, the snakes are male and they're coming in. They typically don't really see well with their eyes, but they're using their noses and wrapping around. No one's really too worried about them biting, just more of a curiosity thing and probably a fear-based thing. But yeah, they're getting in there. They're doing a little bit of wrapping up. Then they're realizing that, maybe this isn't a female snake. Doesn't really have any details on how they mate. And today wasn't the day where I was going to look into how these type of snakes mate. So that's a headline.
Maybe put their little snake penis into the little snake pussy.
I assume it's either that or what happens is, you have the stork that comes underwater.
Of course. Okay, Cam, here we go. Headliner asinine. Couple in California petitioned the state to name their newborn an emoji.
I'm surprised this is the first one. I mean, from what I understand, you do have to petition for something like this because I think, didn't Elon Musk get his kid's name rejected because it was not pronounceable?
Yeah, it was like XY dash and then a bunch of fucking numbers or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that one rolls off the tongue. Yeah, I can see someone trying to do this. Is like, what did you try and do? This is like, we tried to do it with the poop emoji. What one would they probably choose though? Probably like the big smile. I don't know. Like, I feel like the winky face is a little bit too much. Like, that's maybe a little too provocative. Like, oh, I'm Cam. It's like, what's your name? It's like, sorry, is that a name? You're like, it's complicated. There's a petition out there. I'm sure someone's trying to do it. Could it be for publicity? Maybe. But I think it's going to go through. No, because you can't really document that. That's awesome. Or that's a headline.
Cam, that's asinine. I made it up.
As you do sometimes.
That's the game of the game. It's literally the name of the game.
All right, Cammers. High school student found to have stolen 22 jock straps from varsity teams.
So early on in the pandemic, even pre-pandemic, the word on the street was the side hustle. Uber really took advantage of this. Hey, work a job and then drive some people around. It's your side hustle. A lot of people have side hustles. I have a friend who restores furniture as a side hustle. You have friends who might work a 9 to 5 and then do something they're passionate about on the weekend. And I think something like this would be no different. If you are passionate about the care and the protection of the human genitalia, why wouldn't you do all you could to spread that message? Right? But you got to start with if you don't have unlimited funds to do so, you might actually have to start stealing some jock straps. It's just from the school board. It doesn't matter. Steal some jocks, wash them at home, resell them at a markup. I don't know. Use jock. There could be a market. People will look and protect their junk. Not many sports. I mean, there's so few sports I feel where you actually wear a jock. Hockey is like the one.
No, football, you don't wear a jock?
You don't wear a jock in football. You don't wear a jock in rugby. You don't wear a jock in basketball. You don't wear a jock in soccer. Like, the jock strap is really like a hockey kind of thing. I'd be curious how many other sports, where it's kind of, it's normal. Baseball sometimes, I bet. I wonder how many sports, they actually wear jock straps in all of them. So this is either the work of a kid working on a side hustle or some creepy perv who just wants to smell them. There's no other two options. So I'm gonna say it's asinine.
Yeah, it's asinine.
Yeah. It could have been either one though, Cam. Okay, ready for your last headline here?
I was thinking you were gonna go on like the weird sexual, like it's some girl who's like, I love the varsity team. Anyway, plow it ahead. Send me some news.
Okay, here we go. Headline or asinine: 2 men killed by a train while mourning their brother who was killed by the same train.
From what I understand about trains and getting killed by them, it's kind of hard. Especially if it's not like in a subway, if you trip over, yeah. But like if it's on a rail, you feel the train coming from like a kilometer away. The thing starts rumbling.
We've all seen Stand By Me. We all know how that works.
I've never seen Stand By Me, but
What?
I'll take your word for it. Cam, you know,
Honestly,
I
Cam,
have all the time in the world.
Cam,
it's not going on the list.
Cam, it's like 92 minutes. It's really good. That's all you need to know.
Is it going to make me cry?
It might, yeah. It is the penultimate. We know old slobs of the show are listening right now. It is the penultimate coming of age story. Like between coming of age, buddy cop, and Quentin Tarantino / other, it is the benchmark for coming of age.
Maybe I'll put it on my list for my next 7 weeks of recovery.
Exactly.
Probably not though.
Come on.
Maybe I'll think about it. That being said, weirder things happen. I'm just not sure how they could have done it. Like maybe in a car and they were trying to sit in the car and the car got snagged and the doors got locked. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, I'll call asinine this one because I just can't see that you'd be more careful than that. Asinine.
Cam, this one is a headline here for you.
Sad.
This is a story out of North Carolina where 29-year-old Pablo Tequirium and his brother Jose Tequirium, who's 20, were walking north on train tracks near Charlotte somewhere around 5:10 a.m. when they were hit and killed by a transit train and were pronounced dead at the scene. During a press conference, Police Chief Adam James said that they were there at the scene memorializing their brother on the 1-week anniversary of his death.
1 week.
Yes, their brother Balatzar Tequirium, who was 27, had been driving across the street when he was struck by a train and died. Video evidence shows that the teens were standing on the track when they were laying down candles to pay their respects. So yes, this happened in the middle of the road. It was a train track going across a road. Security cameras and records also show that all safety features, including crossing arms, lights, and horns, were all working correctly. Alcohol is expected to be at play, but it might just be a who knows.
I mean, it's still a tragic story. Like a week after.
Week after, your three of your kids are gone.
Yeah. All by a train.
All by at the exact same place.
Yeah. And do you think... Fuck off, Wasp. Do you think they put a memorial there, or do you think they're like, maybe this place isn't for us?
Yeah, they're like, no more memorials. No, we're going to do a plaque instead. No one light any
plaque
candles.
instead. We're a kilometer away. No trains.
But yeah, that is the question. How, you can feel the train rumbling. Were they listening to... Did they have headphones in?
But
like
you
they
feel
said,
it. It's not that you hear it.
Like they said, alcohol is expected to be at play, but honestly, they don't know what was going through the boys' minds.
Yeah, they must have been real fucked up if they didn't notice it. If they're like, let's risk it just like our brother. I don't know. Ugh. It's just sad. All right, well, let's... Well, can we end on a more positive note? Like, that feels terrible.
Why not? This is a positive. We're playing the game, and I won
the
it.
game.
I won the game.
Oh, good. Cam won. All right.
Thanks
that's
for
the positive
listening.
note.
2 Season Pod here, folks. Remember, rate, like, subscribe. The show is everywhere. 2seasonspod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And tune in next week for, inevitably, Cam complaining about not being able to leave his house.
That's right, folks. And never forget, the first hernia surgery was ever done in the 1600s, so they better have fucking figured it out by now. I'm Cam LeClaire, signing off.
Take care, folks.
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod.
96.7 on your... Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.